Time is now. It's back to the rhymes. It's like, wow, he's back to the rhymes. I'm in the booth, straight dropping dimes. Clark Kent daily plant the Metropolis Times. I write these raps while I'm under the gun. I see you back to get you some. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. Pure, raw, uncut rap. Back to the rhymes. Now's the time. Time to unwind because it's back to the rhymes. Back to the rhymes. Now's the time. Time to unwind because it's back to the rhymes. Good morning. I was in Boise and my plan changed, but that's okay. 'Cause I did get a nap on the way home. So it's not like I've been up straight. Probably this might be after a couple hours nap. So this is kind of interesting. Look at that post-it blocking out probably stuff that I probably want to block out anyway. So I'm just going to leave it. It's kind of cool. All right. Here's the menu. Number one, School of Us album sales. Man, haven't been over out of town. It feels like that was a long time ago, but I gotta say thank you to my friend out there, Sonia. My friend Sonia, she said, "Yeah, I want one of these," and then I'll get to later what else she wanted, and that's a big thank you. Oh, thank you. So we got that. That was this week, right? So, man, I don't know. I shouldn't have that. I don't know what I'm about to do. Yeah, it's all right. There we go. Okay, so I think that puts us on a pretty good streak of about like 4 straight weeks of a sale. So I'm very pleased with that. Very thankful. It's a country song, nothing to share with you on that. No. 3, YouTube channel, social media. So the last short was okay, 40, 38. I think in the last 30 days, I got 4 subscribers. I think that might be a record. I got to say, though, yeah, I'll get to them later, but it's all relative, right? But for me, that's really a great month. Usually probably more like one a month on average. So I'm thankful for that. Yeah, Instagram did good. Had like 429, so that's good. And TikTok didn't even do as good, and I said YouTube was even less. But interestingly, the TikTok for this one I just made, maybe it's because it's 4 in the morning, but that's 7 o'clock East Coast time in the morning. Got 0 so far, which usually at this point there have been some instantly. It's really interesting. Okay. And nothing more to add with the channel. Just going to keep working through this song just because of my schedule. I'm going to add another verse and then I will be on to the next song in a couple weeks. Rules of engagement. Okay, so I did do some research on a potential. Well, let me say too. So I went about 85 shares of my Better Bread Volume 12, so I should be able to close that out. I was hoping I had a vacations last week, and I did okay. I probably could have done better, but if I had done everything exactly right, I'd got through up to 100, and that didn't happen. So I have a long weekend, as we call it, at the post office coming up. Let's see if I do well regarding sharing that compilation in those 3 days off. I think I might take Monday off too to go to the Mariners game. My daughter likes the K-pop group. I think they're called Hypen or something like that. So yeah, we go once a year. It'll be really cold for a Mariners game. Usually like to go in the summer, but oh well. This is kind of, she got to be there, but I need to make sure I can get it off. Let's see. So there we go. So yeah, that'd be 4 days. So let's see what happens. Um, Rules of engagement. So I did inquire with, I guess I can talk about with my Build Baller folks about content related to that, but my coworker was inquiring more specifically about our company, not the training company, but the company that our supplier, let's say. And so changing the narrative, helping to change the narrative a little bit, helping to highlight, I'd say, lay people, everyday people who have a completely different sentiment than what you'd find online, or you'd see a polished professional, so just kind of a lay person. So that's the goal. And I got my question answered, but I realized I need to start. I'm a backup. So I got a plan, and I think it'll happen. But this whole vacation, I never got an opportunity to call them. That just didn't make it to on my list. But again, I still got Will's video I got to start sharing too. So it's not going to have to be right away. But I think that would probably be my next possible. Yeah, no, yeah. If I made the video, I would definitely share that next. So, and I see it being pretty good, a good idea. I'm a little unsure about Instagram. I could see how I do it on YouTube, but Instagram, I'm a little unsure about. Okay, so yeah, well, that's rules of engagement and Build Ballers, and that's where I was for Boise. So music for Back to the Rhyme. So, and we had somebody I've known for years out there. His son records. His son he sells beats, and he's got a kind of a price list. So, but I message him, I don't hear back, and then I'm gonna talk to his dad, and his dad's gonna talk to him. It's like, what are we doing? We're trying to make money. What are we doing? He didn't take me serious. I don't know what the reason is. I really don't like it. The only reason I'll even pursue it is because I have a relationship with his dad, and I'm gonna go through his dad 100% from now on. I'm not even try to contact this guy directly. That's an irritation to me. Maybe I'm an irritation to him. That's why he doesn't want to respond. But what are we doing? Are you in business? So, but that's just so natural. I don't understand people. Maybe he's just not really trying to do it. But his dad said he goes and works on beats every night. So either really it's just a fun thing for him, or he really wants to do something with it, or maybe it's both. And then I got Alex out there. He says his nephew, I believe in Tacoma, makes music, produces. So he asked me after quite a long time, would I be okay going to Tacoma? I'm like, yeah. And I think last time I checked, you are helping fund some recording. So you got a person you have a personal relationship with. We probably should have had this conversation a long time ago, but okay. We're having it now. That's fine. Maybe there was a reason for a delay. Maybe this guy had to get his stuff together, but okay, yeah, let's have a conversation. So yeah, that's a possibility. So that's cool. I mean, now we have two really, I would say, I wasn't talking about them a couple of weeks ago, possibilities of people to record with. So that's good. Let's see what happens. All right. So merch. So like I said, it was a package deal. So I'll do it and a little extra love. I sure appreciate that. It's nice, My theme song for people that support my effort is it's not enough to get me over, but it's enough to keep me going, That's how it is. So we just keep on going, that's how it is. So I really and it was nice talking to her, and she what it is, here's the deal. And conversations I have with people, it's not too common. I do meet someone who's, for me, is a real pretty deep thinker, critical thinker, independent thinker, lifelong learner. What's the meaning of life? That conversation. And so like have that problem solving significance scale, and that's for that purpose. What are we doing? What are we here for? You know? So, and I had a couple conversations in the past couple of weeks like that with people I didn't know that felt like that, thought like that necessarily. So I appreciate that. And I hope to have more conversations. It's very exciting. All right. So Trump's going to dump. Okay, let me say. I will plug a book. So I did get to hear from John C. Maxwell this weekend. He is the #1 leadership author in the world. Written more books on the subject, and we're blessed. The Bellevue Baller, it's not Bellevue Ballers is who I work with, but he speaks for us because the multiplier effect. His vision, his passion is to lead leaders, to equip leaders, not just equip somebody where it ends with that person. He wants to equip people where it permeates and goes and spreads out. So that makes sense. So his book he wrote, and we got an exclusive on it. My daughter bought the book, got a signature, got a picture. The High Road to Leadership, and he's talking about high road leaders, low road leaders, middle road, all that. But you could, and for him, in the political world, he doesn't see high road leaders. I don't know if he said for 20 years or something, because I think that's what a lot of this book is. And of course, I've read a post maybe where he didn't seem to. I don't think I understand it. He doesn't like Trump style. I get it. If you like the type of style, and I don't think he probably prefer Biden style, or if you're probably a leader of one of the two major parties, you're probably going to go with a low road leader style based on his definition. And it's kind of the nature of the beast, and it's the nature, the appetite of the voter. And again, we have people are very ideological who want to see a person who's more of a unifier, right? You hear about people now. I will say Robert Kennedy, for me, does a great job of this. He's very consistent. If that's what you're looking for, that's your candidate. I don't know how you feel about his policies, but if you want that leadership style, that's your candidate in this race by far. It might not hurt being an independent. I mean, it might not really even hurt being in the Democratic primary because you were never debating. But his style is really good if that's what you like. Will it result in a victory? I don't think so. And for President Trump, his styles worked for him his whole life, and he believes in it, and he's not going to change it. And it's obviously been very effective, and that's why he has a following. So it would be crazy to change it. It's what he knows, but it doesn't. Anyway, I'm not going to get into the details with that. So you got the no labels party. You get these. It just. I get what he's saying, and outside of politics, I think it makes it for sure. If you're a pastor, because you got this the dude Mars Hill Driscoll, and I don't know this other fellow's name. It was interesting. We don't want people going at each other, do we? But in the end, I always say, like I said, yes, would I like my candidate who I vote for to be a quote unquote high road leader? Of course. But in the end, I got to pick the person who's going to protect and stand up for the Constitution of the United States, our freedom of speech, freedom to worship. That's critical. We lose that, all these other things don't mean anything. That's how I look at it. That's just the bottom line. And that doesn't matter to some of these guys. I guess they would rather, a principled position is to vote for a guy, I guess, who can't win, and we lose our freedom of worship, and we lose, our freedom of speech. But we were principled in who we voted for, I guess. because of some nuance. Now, it's a gray area to me. It's not just absolutely, I can make a case for, say, Trump being a high road leader. Obviously, you could compartmentalize it, but you can see instances where clearly he is. He gets along great with people, but he still defends himself. So that's why it comes off as being low road, I suppose, or going after. And the other thing I say about him is, it's just, to me, it's you understand that I don't think he means it like really mean. I don't know what to say. When the battle's over, you shake hands and you kind of, you're friends again. That's how I look at it. Almost like a sport, If you were playing a sport, a one-on-one basketball against your best friend, but you really want to win, you might be really hard on them, or wrestle them or something. But at the end of the match, you shake hands and respect one another. That's kind of what I think too, especially when it comes to a Republican primary. He goes hard after these guys, but then unless they're just are never Trump type people, then it's always going to be battling. But that is what it is. And that's the other thing. These guys that say they like this, but they go so hard at this, it's in the end, you're kind of, and that's what Officer Tatum was saying about this pastor. You're saying that, a Christian, you're supposed to go behind closed doors and talk to your brother, but he's talking to the whole world about it. And I guess in this case, it's kind of like you're talking to the whole world about how you don't like what you're seeing in leadership. But in doing so, you're kind of doing it. I would kind of say that's something to think about. I'm not going to go hard at it, but I thought that was Officer Tatum. I give him credit for that point. All right, next, you will be glorified. Nothing new there. All right, so I think that covers current affairs. Let me make a new verse. Let me actually recite what I have so far for the binary orthodoxy. And because I didn't have time to do the second verse last time, and we'll see how we're doing. But like I said, it has to do with my schedule. I would have been fine to end this, but my schedule forced me to get another verse for y'all. Men's lives matter. Women's lives matter. Don't nothing else matter. Is something that matters what I just said? Am I supposed to acquiesce to insanity? No, not me. No, not hardly. Not hard for me to see a reason to. Seems reasonable to me. Food. You do you. I'll do me. I'll do me the way I believe God wants me to be. Are you doing you the way you believe God wants you to be? Did he get it wrong the first time? Or could it be Satan speaking into your life? To buck the binary orthodoxy, to step out from under God's authority. I'm wary of the nefarious human beings at their scariest. Come clean, it's the binary orthodoxy. You know me, I'm under God's authority. Hard to see why so many resist. It's human beings at their scariest. Safe space, such a disgrace. If you think I'm joking, you ain't looking at my face. You ain't joking either. Had you thought to heed her wishes for her comfort, stop. If you cared about her comfort, I guess you'd stop. But since you clearly don't, you clearly won't. Things are coming to a head. What I'm saying has been said. Look what we're being fed. Straight nonsense to the nth degree. Seeing you's on your 10th degree. I get it. Makes sense. Because you pay big bucks to internalize this worldview. Certainly not an after-world view. Were that the case, you'd certainly make different decisions, but instead you're pushing for sus incisions to buck the binary orthodoxy, to step out from under God's authority. I'm wary of the nefarious human beings at their scariest. Come clean, it's the binary orthodoxy. You know me, I'm under God's authority. Hard to see why so many resist as human beings at their scariest. So that's 2 minutes. Yeah, I think I would keep it like that. I already said I'd do that. So let's go another verse. So I think what I didn't discuss and I thought about, because coming up on this program here, I was like, what would the next verse be? And I didn't talk about female athletics, women's sports. And so I'm going to go into that what as it pertains to this, because it is obviously very damaging. This whole thing is, I mean, you go down the list, bathrooms. For one, I will say, I think most negatively affected by this stuff are women by far. That doesn't affect men near as much. I just figure it out, right? So, and here's where it's so obvious, right? Okay, so what can we say? And let me also say, I was thinking about, so it's a little hard, obviously, when you have a lot of women who play sports are either tomboys or would self-identify as, let's say, lesbians, ladies, right? That's sports, right? It can be very tough and competitive, and those are more masculine traits, right? So I think this puts a lot of them in a hard spot. I mean, one of the first people I heard sounding off about this was Martina Navratilova, who I believe is with. If you were to ask her, she would say she is attracted to women, or it's with a woman, or something. As a, that's what I believe. I hope I'm right on that. I think I am. So, but man, they came down hard on her. You know, that's kind of the thing. So you got the shouting down the agenda. And here's a hero to someone who is, you know, if it's like a same-sex movement or something or whatever, that would have been your hero. And now because she doesn't want to go to the next step, now she's a villain, right? But for her, she's like, you're ruining. Now, we haven't seen it in tennis. I mean, my goodness, is that going to? I mean, it hasn't happened in pro sports. So you keep hearing about it at like a high school, and the WNBA. We got the Griner there that I don't know. I do not know. So a lot of people are convinced that's not what we would be led to believe, gender wise, but never, you know. So anyway, so that's the problem. That's a big problem. All right. So what do I say about this? Okay. So it's called binary orthodoxy, and we're saying so. Okay. So, um, yeah, even that Charlemagne the God was talking about, man, just to pump up sales, we got to get at least a trans man, woman in the WNBA on each team to pump up sales. I mean, golly, dude. I think he might have backed out that a little, but that was incredible. I remember that. If you are a fan of women's sports, I think natural rhyme would be warts, right? Are we not just a fan, a participant? It's worse than I won't change it because that's my original rhyme. Are we not seeing some serious warts? And you can go into this Title IX and all this stuff. There the effort for, now I don't know what's the exact, obviously you have people talk about getting equal pay and it's just ridiculous. Like this Caitlin Clarkson, I'm going to make absolutely nothing because she's really good as a female basketball player. I haven't even seen her play yet. I should watch some highlights because I keep hearing her name. She must be great. But it's not going to make any money. Why? We want to see the best athletes in the world, and the best athletes in the world are men, period, right? Except for ice skating and stuff like that. Then there's an elegance and there's like an art to it. But I'm just talking about raw strength and speed and all that stuff. It's obvious. Everyone knows it. All right. The effort for equalization has led to some consternation. All right. Okay, what is that? How we spell that? I think I know, but look it up. Consternate. To cause consternation, sudden confusion or amazement. Oh, yeah, has led to some consternation. Amazement and confusion. That's pretty simple, easy definition right there. Well, sure has. And what has been the conversation? Now, I can't even say exactly what the advocates are saying for these individuals. I mean, like quotes. What's the exact wording, right? And what has been the conversation? Gotta let them in. Maybe I'll just say that. Gotta let them in. And what has been the conversation? Gotta let them in. Here, let's try it like that. Gotta let them in. And so this becomes an Achilles heel because if you, what was Title IX exactly, right? I mean, heck, I wrestled. I don't know what happened to wrestling in Seattle. They used to wrestle in Seattle before getting to high school because everywhere else besides Seattle you could wrestle, but not in the city. So you're terrible. You're a terrible wrestler because you didn't start wrestling until high school. And then, because I guess Title IX, now UW and all these Washington schools don't have wrestling anymore, or some deal. For what? That's in a way, it's kind of like whatever, wrestling, whatever. But still, all I'm saying is an Achilles heel. Okay, so your Achilles heel. So how am I even spelling that? Gosh, it's gonna take the end, and I've got my rhyme for for my short, but I'm gonna probably run out of time. I think it's ACH. I don't think I can do it fast enough. Probably not. So I just try it next time, but I want to at least remember what I think it's ACHILLES. Let's see if that's right. I'm going to find out next week when we get back to the rhymes. So your Achilles heel is what? that equality deal, right? Okay, next time.